Hi there. Welcome to the SuiteSpark podcast. I am Danielle McCormick, and I am a co-founder of Suite Solutions. And I have my co-founder here with me, Miss Stephanie. Stephanie, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hello, everyone. I'm Stephanie Georgakopoulos, co-founder and fractional CFO. We are very excited to have you here with us on our first ever podcast.
Thank you so much for joining. We wanted to take this first episode for you to actually get to know us a little bit better. And so we have a little bit of background, some information for you as you're coming into our world, getting to know us, where we came from, all of that kind of thing, and why we started Suite Solutions, as well as this podcast to help you all through your exit journeys and navigating the mergers and acquisitions world with your small business. So Miss Stephanie, please introduce us to you and please let us know what inspired you to start your career within finance.
Okay, so a little bit about me. I am a Greek American, but I grew up in Greece. I was actually raised by my father's sister, and she was and is a phenomenal business person. So I grew up with her and her significant other. They were together for 16 years and had their businesses for 12. And they owned nightclubs in Greece. I know how to have fun. And hello to all the Greeks out there. And you all know that you toe the line. So the businesses were in his name, although they owned them together, because technically in Greece, you're supposed to close the club down at 3, but we turn the lights on, turn the music off at 3, let the cops go around the corner a couple times, and then we turn the lights back off and the music back up and stay open till 7.
Nice. Rules. No thanks. I'm not interested in all those rules. So excessive.
The reason I bring this up, besides my little plug of go visit Greece, it's a great country.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Is that it was in his name in case they ever got caught. He would be the one that they took into jail. He never wanted her to have to be the one to go in. They had this set up for 12 years, very successful nightclubs that they had. And one night he had a heart attack. So yeah, we rushed him to the hospital and he survived the heart attack, but they found out that he had clavicle cancer. So
really?
Yeah, so over the next 3 months, he stayed in the hospital and the cancer just rampaged his body.
Oh my gosh.
And so my mama, I call her my mama, her life became like 11 to 7 a.m. She was at the nightclub. Then she would go to the hospital, take care of him, clean him, do all of the things. Then she would come home, check on me, sleep a little bit, and then go back. And that was her life for those 3 months. On the day that he died, she found out that at some point in those 3 months, he went and put everything in his son from his previous marriage's name, and she lost everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so overnight, she lost her significant other, her partner. Yeah. She lost her business assets. And watching her go through that was like awful for me because I love her more than anybody else in the world. But I learned a lot from her and from that situation. One is the power of being a resilient woman, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
She rebuilt herself back up. But 2 was that knowing how to make money and knowing how to grow a successful business does not mean that you know how to implement the right protections for yourself and what's going to happen if bad situations occur in life, because they always will. It may not be that situation, but something's going to happen. And maybe it's the great situation of retirement. Okay. But having those things prepared. So when I learned that, I decided to go into finance and I started working as a financial advisor, right? Because that was like the journey. And I worked with female business owners. Because of what had happened, it became like a big passion of mine to educate women. It's not the point of this podcast, but in the United States, women have only been able to open up their own credit card since the 70s by themselves without a man. It became very important for me to educate on that. And then because I was working with female business owners who were very good at the bakery they ran, the marketing company that they had, the shipping company that they had, whatever it was that their business, their passion in life, they were very good at, but they weren't very good at understanding their numbers or knowing how to utilize them. And that became more and more part of what I was doing. And that's how I segued into the fractional CFO, is because I was like, I really love this.
Yeah.
That is how I came to where I am today.
I
Well,
love it. I love it. That's such a great story. Thank you so much for sharing that. Wow. I actually didn't even know all about some of that background for you and your family. So yeah, definitely a close mission at heart for your family and for
mhm.
women. And thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you. And what about you? Now you tell me, how did you get started?
So I have been a program manager for many years, business enablement consultant for a long time, working in 13 different industries so far. And going into businesses and essentially being that hired gun and being the person that comes in and drops in from 50,000 feet, don't necessarily know much about the business to start, immediately ramp up as a subject matter expert in whatever that operation is, and then helping to streamline and really make some small process tweaks and whatnot that just make the overall operation run much better. And with the aim of improving the quality of life for the frontline workers, yes, a lot of that does translate to profitability, to scaling, to larger growth in operations. But really, at its core, at least for me, is really focusing on the workers. There is actually a close friend of mine from the past that he was going through a really bad time at work. He was having a hard time with family and ultimately succumbed to suicide. And it was just, there was no break. There was no letting up in his life at all. And that just also really supercharged that passion in me to really make sure that wherever I am, as far as the front line, the overall operation, that people don't have those Sunday scaries. They don't have that, I don't want to go to work feeling and like jobs are awful. Why? That kind of thing. And we spend so much time at work. We spend so much time in our vocations, in our office buildings, whatever that looks like for your profession. And for it to go there and for it to suck. And yes, everybody talks about their bosses. They talk about a lot of these things, but really the big crux of it is just an inefficient operation sucks the soul out of every single person that's involved, everybody that's around it. And that bleeds over into family lives, into home lives, into divorces, into suicides, unfortunately, into all of these things where people just don't have a break. And we can't always choose our home life, but in a lot of ways we can hopefully try to choose or improve our work life. And so doing that in one business at a time as an internal consultant, I was just felt, yes, I'm making a big impact here. And I really appreciate the feedback I'm getting and everybody telling me that their lives are improving just by coming here and they're not so frustrated constantly with how stupid this process is. And why do we have to do this? Like all the kind of death by a thousand cuts bitching that occurs when you have a very inefficient operation that then can really lead to a very pedantic boss and really just yucky stuff, right? We see the slippery slope all the time. And so that wanting to help more businesses to be able to do that is what really drove me to that fractional CEO side rather than staying internal to one singular company and one singular operation for over the long term. So,
I love that.
yeah, just very much a mental health play, people's overall wellness. And so much of it is tied to work, and that's what I'm better at. So is helping make business better. Yeah, but that's really my passion is I hate when I see people that just don't love their job and don't love being there and are counting down the days and minutes to the when they can go home. And hopefully they have a nice home life to go to. A lot of times people don't. It's that whole 50-50 divorce thing. So not everybody has that, and at least maybe they can find some refuge at home or at work.
I love that. And I think that both of us have that desire to help as many people as we can, which also is why we wanted to have this podcast where we're able
Yes.
to further share our expertise and help people in that way. You might not have us directly, but you can benefit from the podcast or hire us. But yeah, benefit from the podcast.
Or hire us. Better yet, bring that together. Yeah, no, we really want to share the knowledge that we have, and we've seen a lot of mergers go real sideways, mostly go sideways, then go well. But really wanting to help folks that are trying to understand where they're supposed to go, what they need to do next, and how they can effectively exit the business in a way that will help them retire the way that they want to and don't feel like they have to work till they die. Yeah, I am so excited to get started with this with you. And is there anything else you would like to share with our audience, Stephanie?
I'm very excited to be able to hop onto this podcast. Our goal is to do it every other week. We're going to we're going to share different stories with you. I am an avid believer that stories help.
Oh, yeah.
explain situations in a great way. So we're going to be bringing you stories. We're going to be bringing you just different takes on different strategies that you can be utilizing. We're going to bring a ton of value and our own unique personality twist to it because we're fun. It's not going to be a boring.
Exactly. No, a Mexican American and a Greek American come together. It's my big fat Greek Mexican wedding, and we're gonna have a blast. Probably swear a little too much, and that's also fine.
Yes, yes. And just baby, be open to learning new things, having a great time. And then this podcast is going to it's going to be enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. Thank you for coming to get to know us. And please grab that subscribe button so you know when we're going to release new episodes. And you should hear from us here in about 2 weeks. Talk soon. Bye.
Okay.